Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and once again, welcome back to the Grand Prix World Series. My name is Topher Smith, and today we're looking at round 6 of season 4 at the French track of Dijon-Bourgogne. This is the second time that Dijon-Bourgogne will feature on the Grand Prix World Series calendar, and we can't wait to get this one underway. It is a fan-made track by our very own Chris Cavaney, the team manager of the Leighton House team. The track produced some amazing action last season, and we are hoping to see more of the same this time around. First of all, let's get the parish notes out of the way, starting off with the League 2 driver standings, and it is Alex Palou who leads the way on 71 points. He retired from the last race, his home Grand Prix at Montjuic, but he still tops the points on 71, ahead of Kimi Antonelli on 45. Tomoki Najiri and Ryo Hirakawa, two Japanese drivers, are on 38 points each, ahead of Jake Dennis and Callum Ilott, who have 31 points each. Ritomo Miata 7th in a dome on 28th, and rounding out the top 10 is Nick De Vries, Luke Browning and Stoffel Van Dorn, scoring points last time out to bring himself into the top 10. As far as the team standings are concerned, Ram Racing is at the top on 84 points, ahead of Andretti on 76, Carlin on 69, as well as Prema Racing, Scuderia Coloni on 55, ahead of Dome on 47. Forti Corsi, long-term team in the Grand Prix World Series, finally picked up their first race win a few rounds ago, and they are 7th in the standings on 35. Zach Speed is on 32, Dams on 24, and Surtees rounds out the top 10 on 14. Currently at the bottom 3 are Real, Tolman and LaRousse. LaRousse still the only team not to pick up any points so far this season. Let's hope that all changes today at Dijon-Bourgogne. We have 2 driver changes to bring you today, and both of those come at the Real team. Ed Hunter deciding to make a double driver change ahead of the Dijon-Bourgogne Grand Prix. In the first of his cars, Mike Conway has been dropped in favour of Formula E driver Sam Bird. Bird raced for the Zaxby team last season and was dropped at the end of the season, but he has now found a new home at the Real team and will make his return to the Grand Prix World Series grid. And in the other Real, we will see a debutant today in the form of Maximilian Gunter, another Formula E driver who will today make his debut Grand Prix World Series appearance in place of Jamie Chadwick. So it's an all-new driver lineup for Ed Hunter's Real team in the hope that he can get some more points on the board and move up the championship standings. Will Bird and Gunter bring him those points? We'll wait to see how they get on with their new team. But before we get down to trackside and get this race underway, let's take a quick look at the grid for today's race. And this is another pole position for the Dome team. Nick Cassidy is on pole position by 0.3 of a second to his teammates Ritomo Miata, a Dome at 1-2 for today's grid. And Nick De Vries is in third in the Andretti, 0.7 away from Cassidy. Dome putting in a dominant performance in qualifying today, and that will surely strike fear into the rest of their opponents for today's race. Matt Campbell 4th in the Ram ahead of Ryo Hirakawa and Tomoki Najiri, two Japanese drivers sharing row 3 there. Alex Palou, our championship leader, will start from 7th ahead of Callum Ilott. Louis Foster in his second race will start 9th, and Zach O'Sullivan doing well to get his Forti Corsi into the top 10. Pato O'Ward will go from 11th in the Dams ahead of Robin Freins and Stoffel Van Dorn in the Zaxbeats. Jake Dennis is in 14th alongside Toby Sowery and Luke Browning, 3 Brits grouped together there. Kimi Antonelli, 2nd in the championship, 17th on the grid today, ahead of the 2 Real drivers, Max Gunter making his debut today from 18th, while Sam Bird's return will see him start from 19th on the grid, and Dan Juncker Day will start from 20th in the Dams. Towards the back of the grid, Sarah Moore will start ahead of Abby Pulling, Matteo Caroli, Jessica Hawkins, Paul Aron and Dennis Hauger, the 2 Tolmans, propping up the rest of the field there. Well, if last season's race was anything to go by, we should be set for another fantastic day of racing here in Dijon-Bourgogne. Let's not waste any more time and get down to trackside. Tom Cairns is ready and waiting in the commentary box to take you through all the action.
It's an all-dome front row here at Dijon-Bourgogne. Can either Nick Cassidy and Ritomo Miata come away with the all-important victory here today? The fire lights are on now. Lights are on. Lights are off, and we are racing at Dijon-Bourgogne. Ritomo Miata getting a cracking start ahead of Nick Cassidy, who's gone very poorly there. He's about to be overtaken by the Andretti of Nick De Vries. Cassidy going wide. He drops down to 3rd position behind Nick De Vries, and he's fallen back into the clutches of Matt Campbell in the Ram. So Miata leads. De Vries is 2nd, and it's Cassidy, Campbell, Hirakawa, Tomoki Najiri, Callum Ilott, Sako Sullivan, Championship leader Alex Palou in 9th position, and Robin Friends in the sack speed, rounding out the top 10 so far. No incidents as of yet. Drivers settling into a rhythm around this Dijon-Bourgogne circuit. Made its debut on the calendar last season. In League 2, it was Mick Schumacher that came out on top, and in League 1, Pato Ward took the victory. So you can see Miata coming down the end of the back straight, the long back straight. It's designed to be a runway, actually, called the La Piste back straight. Going through Clio now, and heading towards the hairpin of Dijon. And then the last, well, there is a kink before the hairpin of Pescarello, named after the multi 24-hour Le Mans winner, Henri Pescarello, who raced in Formula 1 in the late 60s and early 70s. Just saw a move from Robin Friends on Alex Palou for 9th place. And we see Kimi Antonelli bouncing over the curbs there. Not sure what happened to him, but it looks like he had got in so deep into Dijon. There was one of the Surtees alongside. That was Sarah Moore. And Anthony was very lucky to not come away with any damage there, although he got attacked from behind by one of the Tolmans. And so Andretti carries on his way. Just see a fastest out there from Ritomo Miata. Nick Cassidy, pole sitter, in 3rd place, looking to make up for lost time. He's on the tail of Nick de Vries almost. Alex Palou goes into this round 26 points clear over Kimi Antonelli. And whatever happens here, Palou will still be the championship leader. So Miata hasn't had the best of luck this season. 2 non-finishes. Came close to victory at Indianapolis and last time out at Monhewitt Park. It was Callum Ilott who took his first win of the season. It was Carlin's first ever win in the Grand Prix World Series. We've had 10 different winners in the Grand Prix World Series this season across the 2 leagues. Will we get any new ones today? And now we see Miata, and I think Cassidy is right on the tail of de Vries now. And a potential overtake could be beckoning here. Miata crossing over the line to complete lap 2. But Cassidy is the one on a charge, and he's up the inside of Nick de Vries into turn number 1. And that is enough for Cassidy to go through into 2nd place. It's a don't want to again. And Cassidy has not had to wait too long to get that overtake completed. Nick de Vries in 3rd position. Race winner at Hakara Pagua. Andretti have had a positive start to the season. They're beginning to close in a little now on Ram, just 8 points behind them. With Carlin and Kramer in good form as well. They could be in the mix for promotion. The top 3 teams will go up at the end of Season 4 in League 2, and will go up to League 1. And the bottom 3 teams in League 1 will go down to League 2 for Season 5. Miata's lead is 2.5 seconds, but watch for Cassidy to get the gap down. We see de Vries in 3rd place. And Alex Palou up the inside of Robin Friends into Dijon, and it's enough for him to go back through into 9th position. And the next driver ahead of the Spaniard is Sako Sullivan. See Miata continuing to set a new fastest lap. The gap is still 2.5 seconds. Nick Cassidy from New Zealand. Going after Ritomo Miata. Cassidy goes into the round 11th in the standings. Second place finish in Buenos Aires. He took pole at Zolder, but then retired later on. It was 15th last time out in Mercury Park. It was a very disappointing round for the Dome team under the reins of David Yonts. Dijon-Bourgogne is the 6th round of the championship of 16. We go to Mugello after this one. And it's off to the Nürburgring in Germany for round 8, which will also be the venue for the mid-season test, where the reserve and test drivers will get a chance to get some laps in. That could change things in regards to who will be on the grid in the foreseeable future. The second half of the campaign, we'll be heading to Istanbul, and then it's off to Pärnu in Estonia, I believe, and then it's off to Anderstorp in Sweden for round 11, which is the last European race of the season, or last European round I should say. Zhuhai in China. Another new venue in the Grand Prix World Series will be round 12, and it's off to Autopolis in Japan. And it's Sipoon in South Korea, which wasn't meant to be in Yongan to begin with before we had a change to that. But it will still be in South Korea. And there's Matteo Caroli off the circuit, and the car is terminally damaged, and LaRusa's season goes from bad to worse. And Matteo Caroli is out of the race, and it looks like Kimi Antonelli has come together with him. Or was that Toby Sowry? I think it was Toby Sowry actually that ran into Matteo Caroli, and it was. And I'd imagine that Toby Sowry is going to be hit with a race ban for that, and a disqualification for this race. Caroli retires, Sowry keeps going on track, but I think we should expect the inevitable. Toby Sowry was not quite alongside enough to warrant enough space, and so he punted Caroli off the road and is disqualified from the race and given a one-race ban. So he's out of the next round in Mugello. And looking at the lineup that Lewis Bassendale has at Coloni, Alicia Palmovsky is the reserve driver within the team, and so she will be set to replace Toby Sowry, who's only in his second Grand Prix World Series race. Be a third different driver in the seat, which was originally held by Chris Miney, and now we've seen Pillow going through on Zach O'Sullivan, and I think O'Sullivan has picked up a problem on the lap, and luckily for him, he won't have too far to go before he gets to the pit lane, providing he doesn't trip anyone up on the way in. And it's a shame there for Zach O'Sullivan because he was running well up in the points, but an early pit stop has put pay to that. And there's Sowry trying to get through. Ooh, almost taking out the dams there of Danny Yunkandea, and had he taken him out, he would have been in even more trouble. I will say, every driver that gets taken out by someone, the driver that caused the incident will end up with a race ban. If there's two drivers of which is taken out in the same race, he'll have a 2-race ban, and so on. It's still a Dome 1-2 at the moment. It's De Vries in 3rd, Matt Campbell 4th, and it's Ria Hirakawa in 5th, Tomoki Najiri 6th, Callum Ilott, the race winner last time out, in 7th, Alex Palou 8th, Robin Fiennes 9th, and Louis Foster has gone up into the points now. And now we're looking at the sole surviving LaRousse of Abby Pullen, who is going for it here on Stoffel van Dorn. And we've had a few driver changes for this round as well. Both Real drivers of Mike Conway and Jamie Chadwick have been replaced by Sam Bird and Max Gunter. And another change is that Dries Van Tor will be in for Liam Lawson at the Onyx squad for the League 1 race later on. We're on lap 7. And it's so far so good for Doe. But will it remain that way come the checkered flag? And there is Gunther running in 13th. Almost coming together with Pato Award, the League One race winner on this track last season. And there's Nick Cassidy, second behind Tomo Miata. Both determined to get to the top step. Neither have won in the Grand Prix World Series before. These are their debut seasons. Or this is their debut season for both drivers in their 6th race each. De Vries has been around season 2. He's had spells at BAR. He's also had his time at Minardi last season. Now he's in the Andretti squad this time around. And then we look at Callum Eilert, who's behind his teammate, who's been overtaken by Tomokin Jiri. So does Hirakawa decide to let his teammate go here? I wonder if Hirakawa has picked up a problem of his own. We'll have a look to see if he has done. Eilert has still not got through on him yet, so it could be the fact that Nijiri had pulled off a genuine overtake on his compatriot. We'll look to see Callum Eilert make a move here. Here we go, look. And he's still not able to get through. And team manager Perry Brown will be a very happy man after the team's performance at Montjuic Park. We'll look to build on that here. Sacco Sullivan rejoined the race, albeit at the back. Might try and go for a fastest lap if he's feeling it at this moment in time with his fresh set of rubber. On lap 8 of the race. And just to go back on the calendar, because I didn't finish my sentence there with that. After Sepang in South Korea, we head to Sepang for the penultimate round, and then Service Paradise Australia will be the venue for the last championship round of the season, with the Macau Grand Prix, the non-championship Macau Grand Prix, taking stage a week after that. So here is Ritomo Miata, still leading. The end of lap 8. Cassidy is 1.9 seconds off. It really could come down to the pit stops. They really are bridging the gap over Nick De Vries in 3rd place, and Pato Award running wide on the exit of the last turn, but he's able to continue. So far, so good for David Young's drivers and for himself. De Vries in 3rd position there, locking up into the hairpin. There's also known as the Chabouis hairpin, named after the late Formula 1 race winner Jean-Pierre Chabouis. You can just see De Vries locking up. So he will maintain his position ahead of Matt Campbell. Alex Palou is still in 8th position behind the two Carlins of Ryo Hirakawa and Callum Eilert. Don't be at all surprised to see him make his way through the field sooner rather than later. And there is Ryo Hirakawa, who has picked up a problem, and his race has come to an end, and it looks like the front suspension has given way on him. It's a terrible shame for Carlin. We're hoping to get 2 cars to the end, as they did last time, out, and I think there's another problem involving, is that a Surtees? It is, it's Sarah Moore. who's hit trouble, unfortunately. And so she's going to be out of the race as well. So she'll want to be pulling off in a safe location here, unless she is able to get that car back to the pit lane, just as Sacco Sullivan did. And no, the problem is Terminal. She'll not get the car back. She's pulling to the side, and she is the third driver to retire from the race, along with Ria Hirakawa and Matteo Caroli. It's a shame there for Jake Sanson. I'm sure he would have wanted to see Sarah Moore get to the end. She has scored points this season. And those points for her came just seen one of the Primers go wide there. I think that was that Louis Foster that was running wide. I think it is, and there is a yellow flag further behind. Oh, and Jake Dennis has crashed. Oh, he's gone off in a big way there, has Jake Dennis. He lost the wheel over the curb and he's out of the race. Oh, he lost that horribly. Thankfully he's alright, but it's the end of the race for him on lap 10. So it's one of the Andretti's gone from the race, which is good news for Ram and Carlin. So Nicky Freeze carrying all the hopes for Linus O'Hall's team. So he makes his way towards the Pascarolo hairpin before concluding the lap. And you can see Sam Bird, who's making his first appearance this season. He was formerly at Sax Speed before he was dropped at the end of the season. And the gap that Cassidy has over third place to Freeze is 6.5 seconds. And the gap between Miyata and Cassidy is 1.4. Going back to what I said about Sarah Moore, she picks up her first points at Indianapolis. She won't be scoring today. And the gap between Miata and Cassidy is 1.3 seconds. The gap is gradually coming down between the pair. Dome Driver's doing a super job as they continue to pull away from the rest of the pack. The upgrade window opens after this round. There'll be a chance for the managers to upgrade their cars, whether it be horsepower or reliability. That will be their choice. And Sam Bird has made his way through on Suffolk Dawn, or so he thought. But I think he's made the move stick at last anyway. And we've got Toby Surrey, who is under threat from Danny Yunkandea for 16th position. Two real drivers of Max Gunther and Sam Bird are doing a super job so far. I'm not saying they would have done better than what Chadwick and Conway had done in the opening rounds, but they're certainly showing why they've been brought in by team manager Ed Hunter. Lap 12. We're not far away from the first round of pit stops. But I wonder, given the pace we've seen from the Dome so far, are we seeing them on the two-stop strategy? Or are they inclined to try and go for the one? We'll see. One driver who's on the move is Toby Surrey behind Stoffel van Dorn. And he's up into 15th place on the road. So he is through. Kimi Antonelli is running in 18th position. With the way things are going, Alex Palou will be extending his lead in the Drivers' Championship. Hirakawa is not going to be scoring, neither is Jake Dennis. Tomoki Najiri up there in 5th place. He needs to get 10 championship points. He'll move up to 2nd. Although if Miata was to win the race, he'll be up to 2nd place behind Palou. So Palou will be moving on to... Oh, and we've seen Callum Ilott run wide a little bit at turn 2, but he was able to use the curb to maintain his place on the track. So Miata going up to 2nd place with the way things are going. Yeah, come on, just went a little bit too deep there. It was a good job the curb was there to save him. DeFries, 3rd place ahead of Campbell, and Ilott locking up into the Chablis hairpin. It's a matter of time before Alex Palou does get through there, and Callum Ilott is not having a good time of it, and Palou's going to pull alongside here and make his move on the inside, heading into turn number 7, otherwise known as the Petit Ouge corner. But he hasn't made his way through yet, has Palou. As you see, Sarah Moore's Surtees on the side of the circuit. Doesn't seem to be putting off the leaders as we speak. We see Robin Fines looking up into the last turn, and DeFries has come into the pit lane, but we've just seen a replay of Fines locking up rather heavily. He's looking to rejoin without making contact with Louis Foster. And another driver heading for the pits is Alex Palou. He does not want to be involved in the squabble. Going up ahead with Callum Ilott. So maybe try and complete an undercut as we see Luke Browning getting through on Louis Foster into turn 1. Another driver in the pits is Abby Pullin. They don't stay out there for now. Dennis Hauger also coming in. We've just seen a replay of Louis Foster who tried to get back through on Luke Browning and very nearly making contact with the 40. So he was lucky to keep going. And DeFries has just rejoined the track from the pit lane. He's got through on the Tolman initially, but then had to run wide to allow the Tolman back through again. And this is not going to help DeFries' race by any stretch. It was Paul Aron that he was tussling with. He is entitled to do this, is Aron, as they are battling for position after all. So he was on the inside there, and contact was very, very nearly made. But Aron, the Estonian driver, currently racing in Formula 2 this year. How long is he able to hold DeFries up for? We'll find out sooner rather than later, but we are seeing Louis Foster going back through on Luke Browning into the Petit Ouge corner. So he's through, no problem. And we see Matt Campbell in P3 now in the Ram. Can't do anything about Miata and Cassidy. It looks like Miata is in the pits from the race lead. And Campbell is also heading in. And so this hands the lead to Nick Cassidy. How long will it be before we see him in? So Mikini Jury and Callum Eilert are also heading into pit road, which allows Louis Foster to go up into second place. It's a busy pit lane now. As we speak, there are 7 drivers in the pits. You can see positions changing all the time. But I can tell you that Ritomo Miata has rejoined ahead of Sam Bird in 3rd place, and I don't think Miata could have dreamt of a better track ahead of him than what he's managed to get, given all the cars that have pitted in behind him. So the gap between Miata and Bird is 1.8, so Miata won't need to worry about Bird now. For Nick Cassidy, going up to like clockwork now. He won't rejoin ahead of Miata, I don't think. The track that Miata has got. And as Cassidy thinks that the one-stop strategy could be the way to go for him. He's in the pits now, is Cassidy. 1 lap after his teammate. And Louis Foster will be coming round to possibly take the lead here. No, he's in as well, is Foster. So Miata has not had to wait long to go back into the lead here. Sam Bird goes in for his first of 2 stops. Now Stoff Van Dorn into 3rd position there, and you can just see Cassidy nearly rejoined into the path there of Ritomo Miata. But at least now he'll be on the fresher rubber to his teammate. That was so nearly the pair of them taking each other out. And Miata was always going to be on full power as Cassidy was only just getting up to speed. So it's as you were. Van Dorn in 3rd place ahead of De Vries. And we see Campbell in the Ram. Chasing after the Andretti of De Vries in 4th position. He was going after Stoff Van Dorn, who's yet to stop in this race. Is 1.1 seconds, but Cassidy will be on the slightly better rubber to his teammate. Seconds is the margin. See what the gap is when they cross over the line, but Miata is in red hot form at the moment, and Robin Fines gets through on Sacco Sullivan for 9th position. Miata posting a new fast lap of the race. I think it's unlikely that anyone will beat that other than him, given Dome's pace today. So Louis Foster on the inside of Luke Browning. And Abby Pullen running wide at turn 1, but able to stay on the circuit. She's behind Pato Award. Miata in P1 ahead Nick Cassidy, and towards the end of their 17th lap there will be another round of pit stops, although Miata's picked up a problem. And he's going to be pulling out of the race. It's Ritomu Miata yet again from the race lead. I honestly do not believe it. Nick Cassidy says thank you very much, but it's the end of the road for the Japanese of Ritomu Miata. Disappointment for team manager David Young. At least a Dome is still in the lead, but it's not Ritomu Miata anymore. It's a puncher that is the cause. And so Cassidy into the lead. Over a lap just after he had pitted. And Nick de Vries is going to be on the inside here of Stoffel Vandoorne into turn 1. He's through into second place now. And Matt Campbell will be in a net third position. With Vandoorne, by the looks of things, is going to be doing the one stop. So Miata will not be going up into second place in the Drivers' Championship. It's good news for Alex Palou. And Nick Cassidy has the chance to win his first Grand Prix World Series race. And Vandoorne will be under threat here from Matt Campbell. He'll be on the fresher tyres to what he'll be on. He's alongside his Campbell, the Australian, on the Zach speed, and that's enough for him to go through into P3. There's de Vries in the second position now in the Andretti. There is now one Dome and one Andretti left in the race. And Alex Palou's under attack here from Callum Ilott. He was in 6th position behind Tommy King, the jury. And Nick Cassidy has posted a knee fast up of the race, which means Ritomu Miata is not going to come away with any points. And another driver who's not going to be coming away with any points, by the looks of things, is Luke Browning. Although it looks like he just made a mistake, was battling with Louis Foster. He caught the curb there, but no harm done. Browning's just ahead of Max Gunther and Patrick Ward. And there is Paul Aron at the back in 21st position behind his teammate Dennis Hauger. I think Tolman are going to be in for a long, long season. Unless we see a huge upturn in fortune for them. And Vandoorne running wide and was very lucky not to come away with any damage of any sort. This has been Vandoorne's best race so far, although he is still yet to come into the pits, and one driver who's not going to be making it to the checker flag, and neither will he do so at the next race at Mugello, is Toby Sowry. And he is gone from this race. There's a gear, and it's a transmission failure for him. So he's the 6th driver to retire from the race. 20 are still going. Nick Cassidy with another new fast up of the race, a 1 minute 46.9. He really wants that fast lap point. I mean, he's on course for the maximum here. After getting pole. De Vries is in second. The way things are going right now, as Dennis Hauger locks up into the last turn. What I will say about Nick Cassidy is that if he was to win the race, get pole and fast up, he'll move on to 46 points, which will move him at the moment in front of Kimi Antonelli. Although with Tommy Kinijiri in 5th place, he'll be the one going up into 2nd position, and Alex Palou will still be the runaway leader in lead 2 right now. Gap between Cassidy and De Vries is 13.3 seconds. I think only mechanical trouble can stop Cassidy taking victory here. And Louis Foster on the inside of Zach O'Sullivan. And this is enough for him to go through, and he's making his way back through the field a little bit here. There's Louis Foster, who's having a good time with it so far. Had a brilliant debut last time out at Montjuic Park. He's carrying that form here with some splendid overtaking. And Pato Ward on the inside of Max Gunter for 12th place in the Dams. His teammate Danny Unkandea is outside the top 15. Matt Campbell is closing in on De Vries now in the battle for 2nd place. Matt Campbell, who's not had a lot go his way this season so far. Ooh, and just see Gunter going for it on O'Ward. It was very nearly contact between the Real and the Dams. Now the reserve driver at Real is Dan Ticton, and he's basically the last option for Real for this campaign, because each team manager is allowed up to 5 different drivers to use across the whole season. Dan Ticton did race for Real in season 3. Didn't do too bad of a job. Real did finish bottom of the team's championship in League 2. See the 240s battling out there between Zach O'Sullivan and Luke Browning for the final point. 21 laps down, 18 to go here at Dijon-Bourgogne. Cassidy continuing to lead and extending it too. De Vries in 2nd place, and the jury's got in front of Stoff Van Don, who has come in for his only stop of the race. It's likely he'll fall out of the top 15, because you need 30 seconds at least for a pit stop here. You can see De Vries, Nick Cassidy on his own, and it's Nick De Vries in 2nd place, continuing to drop back. It just underlines the pace that Dome have right now. Although if something happens to Cassidy from here on in, that is going to change the race massively. He's yet to win in the Grand Prix World Series. Dome did pick up a victory last season with Kamiya Sato at Fuji. Yet to win this season though, and if Cassidy was to come away with a victory, that'll be 11 different winners from 11 races before we go to the League 1 race later today. There you can see the Ram of Matt Campbell chasing down De Vries for 2nd position. Alex Blow up to 5th place now. Hasn't been at his best by any means, but he's doing all he can, benefiting from those who have failed. Nick De Vries in P2. Jury in 4th place and Louis Foster in 8th. It's been another good race so far for the Prema team, who think had a difficult start to the campaign, but they're coming alive with the performances that they have had. 4th place in the team's championship, level on points with Carlin. As things stand, they will move in front of them into the promotion places. And Coloni don't look like they're going to be scoring, although if Dome were to come away with the win, Hull and Farsaslat, they will move on to 72 points, which will push Carlin down to 5th. Lap 24, Cassidy still leads. Gap between him and De Vries has increased to 16.3 seconds. And Callum locking up into turn number 1. Getting away with it, but he'll be under attack shortly. And De Vries is out from 2nd place. De Vries has come to a slowdown, and Andretti's race is completely over. Disappointment for Linus O'Howell. I think it's the first time this season that both Andretti's are not going to be finishing in a Grand Prix World Series race. That makes Cassidy's race even easier, with Matt Campbell in 2nd place. Najiri goes up to 3rd in the Prema, with Alex Plow 4th. You see Tomiki Najiri in 3rd place now, looking good for another podium. He's finished on the podium in the last 2 races, has Tomiki Najiri. Now, if he was to finish on the podium today, I'm just looking through on my notes, in terms of the most consecutive number of podiums for a driver, if he was to finish on the podium today, he'd become the 10th driver in Grand Prix World Series history to have finished on the podium in 3 consecutive races. The record at the moment is held between Scott Dixon, Mick Schumacher, Antonio Felix da Costa and Marcus Ericsson, with 4 each. So Matt Campbell, a chance to get his campaign back on track here. His teammates are a couple of positions behind. Now we look at Stoff Van Don, who I think is the only driver to be doing the one stop here. He's making the most of the fresh tyres to get on the tail of Jess Hawkins for 16th. 19 drivers left in the race. Paul Aron running in 19th and last position. Nick De Vries out, as is Toby Sori. And we lost Ritomo Miata. We also lost Jake Dennis, Ria Hirakawa, Sarah Moore and Matteo Caroli. And we've got Tomiki Najiri in for his second stop now, so we're beginning to see the second round of stops happening here. Expected to be a rather busy pit lane as well. Sacco Sullivan is also in. We watched Max Gunter on the inside there, or trying to go for a move on Pato Award, which wasn't going to come off there, and he was very lucky not to take him out of the race whilst he was at it. Still continuing to extend the lead. superb race from Nick Cassidy. After being jumped at the start by his teammate Ritomo Miyata, Nick de Vries got by him as well, but he was able to get back through on de Vries sooner rather than later. And since Miyata has retired, he's taken the lead and has not looked back. But the race isn't done yet. 13 laps are still remaining. Nick Cassidy is on the brink of his first Grand Prix World Series win, and Doman's first this season and their second in their entire history in this championship. Jury is in 14th place behind Stoff van Dorn. Alex Play is in the pits now, as is Callum Ilott. Lee Foster likewise. I think Luke Brown is in also, as is Max Gunter. Jess Hawkins making her way into the pit lane. Finds up to P3 in the sack speed. Aiming to go a little bit further. Campbell in P2. Nothing he can do about Cassidy, but he's on the brink of a solid result here. Cassidy is into the pits from the race lead. Does Campbell go into the lead, or does he pit in on the same lap? One driver who's dropping back here is Stoff van Dorn, has been overtaken by Tom Cairns. It was long before Jury pitted in. We've seen a replay of the overtake now. Into 7th position on circuit. And Campbell is also in from 2nd place, which means Cassidy will retain the lead once he comes back out. Fines is also in. About Pato Ward, is he going into the pits along with him? Ward is in. Abby Pullen makes her way into the pit lane, which allows Tommy Jury to go through. Kimi Antonelli, who has been off the pace today, it's unlikely we're going to be seeing him scoring points. At the Ram of Matt Campbell, he rejoined in 2nd position ahead of Tomek Inajiri, and Van Dorn, who's on the 1 stop, he's running in 4th place ahead of Callum Ilott, but Ilott, Frines, Palou, Foster, O'Sullivan and co will be on the fresher rubber. So it's a good day so far for the Sack Speed team. As it stands with the points they could be getting, with Van Dorn getting 12 and Frines getting 8 for 6th position, they'll move on to 52 points. They'll leapfrog 40 into what will be 7th position. Between Cassidy and Campbell has increased to 21.7 seconds. Here's the promo of Tomek Inajiri on course for his 3rd podium in a row. It's Stoffel Van Dorn, who hasn't won in the Grand Prix World Series since Season 2 in Kyalami, I believe, in League 1 for Simtek. Below will be on the tail of Frines shortly. And a good battle going on for fifth place between those lot, which will favour Van Dorn. The pit stops are more or less done now, the scheduled ones anyway. So it's sprint to the checker flag from here. We're looking at towards the back end of the field, isn't like Dams are going to be scoring, although our Ward is just outside the points in 11th. Surtees are not going to be scoring, neither are Riel, Tolman or LaRousse. Both of the Andretti's out of the race. It's going to favour Carlin, Kramer and Ram. The way things are going, Kramer are going to be moving up to second place in the team's championship, and Dome will be in third by my calculations, unless Carlin just got enough points there to stay in front of them. So it'll be Ram, Kramer and Carlin in first, second and third places, with looking at Campbell in second and Below running behind Frines in 7th place, as Nick Cassidy's just posted a new fast lap on his final set of tyres. So Ram will go on to 108 points. Primo will be on 78. Carlin on, at the moment, 79. So Carlin will be second ahead of Primo. Then it's Andretti in 4th with 76. And Dome in 5th on 74. So the battle for promotion is very much on. Coloni are not going to be scoring as it stands. But anything can happen here. There's still time for things to change in this race. League 1 race will be coming up later, so do not go anywhere. Do make sure you like and subscribe to the Retro Racing Managers League YouTube channel in case you haven't already done so. Najiri in 3rd position. Behind Najiri is Stoffel Van Dorn. Van Dorn will be under attack from Callum Eilert shortly. Eilert's got the gap down to just under 2.3 seconds. But this was the only way that Van Dorn was going to get anything out of this, so hats off to him with the performances put in today. Antonelli is trying to get through on Danny Kandaya for 15th position. See if Antonelli does get through eventually. Anthony on the inside there of Junkin Daya. And that was very, very close to ending in tears for the pair of them. Colonia have already had one driver out of the race and banned for the next round in Mugello. Anthony will not want to join him. We see Anthony on the tail of Junkin Daya, looking for a way through, and Jess Hawkins is right behind these two. It's unlikely that she'll be coming away with anything, but at least she can bring the car home again. Nick Cassidy is 7 laps away from his first Grand Prix World Series win. Van Dorn locks up into the Douge corner and he's got Eilert all over the back of him now. Now, can Eilert get into the slipstream and pull alongside and go through ahead of him into turn 1? He's probably too far back to do it here. We'll give it a good try though. It's Nigeri in 3rd position. Doesn't look like he's going to be under attack from anyone. But Van Dorn now is going to be potentially picked off by these drivers. Behind Van Dorn is Eilert, Friends, Palou, Foster, and maybe O'Sullivan and Browning and O'Ward. So what could potentially be 12 points coming in the way of Van Dorn may end up being nothing. And there we are seeing an overtake here, and I think Eilert's going through on Van Dorn into what is now 4th place. We're looking at O'Ward, but we want to be looking at Callum Eilert. We're going to replay of it now. And Eilert on the inside of Stoff Van Dorn. Into Petit Douge. Or Petit Ouge, I should say. And that's him through into 4th place in the Carlin. And I imagine Robin Fiennes will want to be allowed through by Van Dorn. And he is doing so now. On the inside of Stoff Van Dorn, and Fiennes is through into 5th. And we are watching Sam Bird, who almost ran wide on the exit of the Petit Ouge corner. Next driver behind Van Dorn is Alex Palou. I wonder what the gap will be, so we're just waiting for the gaps to update. The gap between Van Dorn and Palou is just under 2.8 seconds. Cassidy's gap to Campbell is 25 seconds. And Nigeri's car is on fire in the Prema from 3rd place. Team manager Alex Johnston will have his head in his hands. Tomoki Nigiri will not make it 3 podiums in a row here. And it will allow Callum Eilert to go through into 3rd place. Nigiri pulls to the side. It's a huge disappointment for the Prema team. 6 laps from the end. Game over for the Japanese. Also allows Fiennes into 4th place, Van Dorn 5th, and Palou up to 6th. And it's Louis Foster, Sacco Sullivan, Luke Browning, and Pat O'Ward, who is now on course for a championship point in the Dams in 10th. The other Prema is still going though. Louis Foster is in 7th position, benefiting from Nigiri's retirement. But Foster is now only a second behind Alex Palou. Palou's catching Van Dorn as we speak, as Cassidy locks up into the Petit Rouge corner. He gets away with it. Matt Campbell, second position. 18 seconds clear of Callum Ilott now. We'll just concentrate on bringing the car home. It'll still be a positive day for the Ram team after a really terrible showing at Montcuq Park last time out. And there's an engine problem. And is that Callum Ilott in trouble? No, it's Topher Van Don, whose engine has gone up in smoke. And it's a huge disappointment to the Zaxby team. And for team manager Mike Smith. The one-stop strategy came very close to paying off, but it's reliability issues that have cost Sax Speed here. Unless Van Don can get that car back to the pits, but he's not going to be scoring points now. The car is on fire. And he's pulling off, and he's the next to go from this race. And he won't be classified either as a finisher. And Van Don's retirement has benefited the Real team because Max Gunter, on his Grand Prix World Series debut, is up into 10th place. And if another car drops out ahead of Gunter, it will also allow Sam Bird into the points. I can't remember the last time we've seen two Reals finish in the points. I don't think they did so in Season 3. But I'm looking back on Season 2 to find the last time that Real got both cars in the points. You have to go all the way back to round 3 of the championship, which I believe is Sepang, Malaysia. It may not happen today, but it is still possible. Alex Palou goes up to 5th then. Benefiting again. Also allow the 40s of Sacco Sullivan and Luke Browning in 7th and 8th. So we've got 3 laps to go. Now we saw what happened in the League 1 race here last season. Scott Dixon had an unchallenged lead until he suffered mechanical problems with a lap to go, which forced him into the pits. And Pat Ward inherited the win that day. Nick Cassidy will be hoping that the same doesn't strike him. Nick Cassidy almost has the gap of a pit stop. He's about to start his penultimate lap now. It's Matt Campbell. Now the best finish he has had before today has been a 2nd place. Although that's Nick Cassidy I'm looking at, my apologies. The best result that Matt Campbell had before today was a 4th position at Indianapolis. He'll take this result, no problem. No question. Here's Cassidy again. And we see Matt Campbell. Cassidy is about to start His final lap in a moment. Callum Ilott on course for another podium in the Carlin. It's a shame for Ryo Hirakawa, who dropped out earlier. It's still good points for the team. With the way things are going in the Drivers' Championship, Palou, who's on course for a 5th place finish, will move on to 81. Antonelli won't be scoring. Neither will Najiri now. Or Hirakawa, or Dennis. Callum Ilott's 3rd place will move him on to 46 points. And by my calculation, he will move into 2nd place in the championship, with Cassidy taking the win and points for pole position and fastest lap. He will also move in front of Antonelli into 3rd, so it's close between the likes of those in the battle for 2nd place, but Alex Palou is still pulling away in the drivers. And the gap that Palou will have will be 34 points. Subject to anything that changes here. But there is Nick Cassidy, who has not put a foot wrong since he got by Ritomo Miyata, who retired earlier. Dome have had a lot of misfortune this season. Victory had slipped through their grasp in Argentina. Victory slipped through their grasp. Oh no, I do not believe it! 3 corners away from the flag, Nick Cassidy is so down! History does repeat itself! Nick Cassidy retires with front suspension failure! And the victory is gone for the Dome team yet again! And Matt Campbell in the Ram is going to take his first Grand Prix World Series victory. And Callum Ilott is going to go into 2nd place. Matt Campbell exits the last corner to take his first Grand Prix World Series win at the Lead 2 Dijon-Bourgogne Grand Prix in the unlikeliest of circumstances. Callum Ilott will come home in 2nd place, and it's Robin Fines who grabs his first podium of the season in the Sack Speed, with Alex Palou in 4th. And then we've got Louis Foster in 5th, ahead of Zach O'Sullivan and Luke Browning. And there's a battle to the line between Pato O'Ward and Max Gunter. Can Gunter take it away from O'Ward? Just misses out by 1,000th of a second. Unbelievable. Action right to the very end. So Gunter is 9th, and Sam Bird picks up the last point. Abby Pullen, unfortunate to miss out. And it's Kimi Antonelli, Danny Nkandea, Jess Hawkins, Dennis Hauger, and Paul Aron, the rest of the finishes. But it's a first-time victory in the Grand Prix World Series for Matt Campbell in the Lead 2 race at Dijon-Bourgogne. Callum Ilott 2nd, ahead of Robin Fines in the Sack Speed. Alex Palou extending his lead in the championship by finishing 4th. Louis Foster 5th, ahead of Zach O'Sullivan, and it's Luke Browning in 7th place. Pato O'Ward 8th. And it's the 2 Reals of Max Gunter and Sam Bird. The first time in a little over 2 seasons they have finished with both cars in the points. Well done to them and team manager Ed Hunter. Abby Pullen 11th, ahead of Kimi Antonelli. Danny Nkandea 13th, and it's Jess Hawkins in 14th place, with Dennis Hauger and Paul Aron, the rest of those, to take the checker flag. Nick Cassidy is classified, but the victory so certainly should have been his. Staff Van Dorn retired towards the end, as did Tom Najiri. Nick de Vries also out with gearbox trouble. Ritomo Miyata retiring from the lead. Jake Dennis, Sarah Moore, Ryo Hirakawa, Matteo Caroli all retired, as did Toby Sorori, who is disqualified for taking out Matteo Caroli in the early stages and is banned for the next round in Mugello. Nick Cassidy took the points for pole position and fastest lap, but 2 points should have been 27 for him. 3 corners away from the checkered flag, and victory has slipped through Dome's grasp. 1 and 2, front row lockout, and the only points that are coming away today are the pole position and fast lap points. Heart-wrenching for team manager David Yuntz and for the team. They really needed the points today. And how costly will that be come the end of the season for them? It's time to run down on the championship standings in League 2, courtesy of Topher Smith, and we'll be back for the League 1 race very, very shortly.
Well, what drama all the way to the end of their race, and the Dome team and Nick Cassidy falling short of the victory by just 3 corners. It's such a shame for David Yunt's team. You have to feel sorry for them. But that is one of the quirks of the Grand Prix World Series. He might have the fastest car, but not necessarily the best reliability. I think David Yunt will be happy that the upgrade window is coming up so he can get a bit more reliability put onto that car. But how has today's race affected the standings? Well, Alex Palou still leads the way on 83 points ahead of Callum Ilott, who's up in second on 49. Kimi Antonelli's on 45 ahead of Matt Campbell, whose victory today propels him up to fourth in the standings on 38. Equal on points with Tomoki Najiri and Ryo Hirakawa, but Campbell ahead on countback virtue of today's victory. Luke Browning 7th in the 40 on 32 points ahead of Jake Dennis, with Tomo Miyati and Nick De Vries rounding out the top 10 on 27 points. Looking at the team standings, Ram Racing still ahead of 121 points with their double top 4 today. Carlin on 87 ahead of Prema on 79. Andretti down to 4th on 76 ahead of Scuderia Colonia on 55. Forti Corsi on 49, equal on points with Dome, but head on countback. Zach Speed on 47. Dams on 28 and Surtees rounding out the top 10 on 14. Real picked up a double points finish today, which will keep them in 11th, but further away from Tolman and closer to Surtees. They are now on 12. Tolman still has the solitary point to its name, while LaRousse still pointless as we get to the second upgrade window of the season. Surely that first point is coming the way of Chris Hosey's team sooner rather than later. But that is League 2 done and dusted for another race. We are now going to switch our attention to League 1, and heading into this race, Felix Rosenqvist's victory last time out in Spain puts him to the top of the standings on 56 points. Mahavir Raghunathan and Sebastian Buemi equal on 43 points each. Scott McLaughlin, no victory yet for him this season, but consistent podiums has put him up into 4th on 38 points. Earl Bamber and Joseph Newgarden, the 2 Leighton houses separated by 1 point heading into round 6, ahead of our reigning champion Scott Dixon on 30. He really wants to pick up his second victory of the season today to get himself right into the thick of things with the likes of Rosenqvist, Raghunathan and Buemi. Oliver Rowland up to 8th on 28 points, ahead of Oliver Behrman on 25, and Kamui Kobayashi and Shorts, both Simtex, are in the top 10 on 24 points. Looking at the team standings, Arrows leads the way on 84 points, ahead of Leighton House on Prost, who are tied on 67 points each. BAR on 51 ahead of Simtech on 49, HRT on 48, Minardi on 36, Forcina on 35, and then Mana and Pacific rounding out the top 10 on 26 and 17 points each. Currently in threat of relegation for Season 5, Onyx Grand Prix on 15, Von Metal on 11 and Marscar Lola on 9. Still plenty of races left though for them to pick up some points and move themselves out of those bottom 3 positions. Just the one driver change to make note of before we get down to the grid, and that comes with the Onyx team. Liam Lawson has been banned from this race after he was disqualified from the Montjuic Grand Prix for taking out the Pacific of Brendan Hartley. Lawson will be on the sidelines for this race, and he will be replaced by the Onyx reserve driver Dries Van Tor, who makes his Grand Prix World Series debut today. And let's find out where Van Tor slots in on his first qualifying appearance as we look at the grid for today's race. And Felix Rosenqvist, our championship leader, has made it 2 pole positions in a row as he goes less than a tenth of a second quicker than our reigning champion Scott Dixon in a Minardi. Nicholas Latifi doing a good job for the BAR to take 3rd ahead of Joseph Newgarden in 4th. Oliver Rowland puts both Arrows into the top 5 ahead of our championship contenders Sebastian Buemi and Mahavir Raghunathan. Gabriele Mini on his second appearance in the Grand Prix World Series will line up 8th ahead of Jean-Eric Verne and Earl Bamber. In 11th place will be Pietro Fittipaldi in the Pacific, ahead of Scott McLaughlin in HRT. He'll want to do a better job than that in the race, I'm sure. Kamui Kobayashi, 13th in the Simtech, ahead of Raffaele Marcello in Force India. Roman Grosjean, his home race today in the Mascar Lola, he will go from 15th, ahead of Antonio Fix da Costa, Marcus Ericsson, Jules Gounon, another home racer today, Brendan Hartley in 19th, and Oliver Bearman. A great start to the season, but lacking a little bit in pace in recent races. He will start from 20th today. Nearer to the back of the grid, the two Manners are 21st and 22nd, Evans ahead of Van Gisbergen. Dries Van Tor on his debut will start from 23rd, Felipe Nasr 24th, ahead of Alexander Sims, and Mick Schumacher starts at the back today, courtesy of a back of the grid penalty picked up last time out. Well, Rosenqvist has made it 2 pole positions in a row. Can he make it 2 victories in a row? There is only one way to find out, and we won't waste your time any further. Tom Cairns, take it away.
Felix Rosenqvist aiming for his 2nd win in a row for the Arrows team, with Scott Dixon determined to get his season and keep his title hopes alive here. 5 lights are on, lights are on, lights are off for one last time here at Dijon-Bourgogne. And it looks like Felix Rosenqvist has got to a good start ahead of Scott Dixon. It's the kind of start that the Arrows driver would have wanted. And look who's coming through. It's Gabriele Mini. Would you believe it? He started 8th on the grid. He's already up to 3rd position behind his teammate. Tremendous start by the young Italian. So Rosenqvist in the lead. Scott Dixon is 2nd. It's Gabriele Mini in the 2nd Minardi in 3rd place. And it's Joseph Newgarden, Sebastian Buemi, Nicholas Latifi, who's got off to a poor start in the BAR, is in 6th place, with Oliver Eland, Earl Bamber, Matthew Ragunathan, and Sean O'Verne inside the top 10. And you can see Scott Dixon on the tail of Felix Rosenqvist at this early stage. He won't go for it just yet. It's too far back to challenge. What a start though from Gabriele Mini to go up from 8th to 3rd in one big swoop. I don't think Giacomo Pagliaro, the team manager of Minardi, could have dreamt of a better start than that. And so Rosenqvist continuing out in front, and we're looking at Nicholas Latifi, who's making a move on Sebastian Buemi into the Douge corner, going back through into 5th place. And hoping that Latifi can find himself with a race win at last. And Rosenqvist has got the... well, he had the fast lap, but that's gone to Gabriele Mini, but we've only just done the first lap. And we expect that to come down next time around, as we see the BAR of Matthew Ragunathan chasing after Albamba, as we watch Sebastian Buemi go for it on Nicholas Latifi for 5th place, but not able to make the move stick. And now we're right on board with Scott Dixon, chasing his 2nd win of the season. He's failed to finish on 4 occasions in Season 4, and his reign as Grand Prix World Series champion is very much under threat. So it's a clean start, as it was in the League 2 race earlier. Drivers just settling in at this point in the race. And there's an engine problem already for one of the Simtecs, and it's Ollie Bearman, who's going to be out of the race very early on. And it's a disappointing start to the race for team manager Scott Woodwis. And Ollie Bearman needs to get off the circuit here. He's got Dries Van Tor going through ahead of him there, but there's no one else behind him now. You can see Rosenqvist has got a new fastest up of the race. And is Bearman able to get that car back to the pit lane? There's a chance he might be able to, you know. And he is not able to. He's It's gone past the pit entry. The problem is terminal, and Ollie Behrman's race has come to an end after only 2 laps. You can just see he's parked the car up there. And the wheels come off, hence why the car is lifting off the ground. But Behrman's race is over, and he goes no further. Felix Rosenqvist still in the lead, ahead of Dixon by a second, and it's Mini, Newgarden, Latifi, Boemi, Roland, Bamber, Regonathan and Verne. You see Rosenqvist running wide on the exit of the Petit Ouge corner. And Dixon all over the back of the arrows. And Jonathan Verne has got through on Manfred Regonathan, who has come to a slowdown, I think, with a problem of his own. You see the Force India going through there of Rafael Marciello into 11th place. You can just see that Regonathan is very much holding the pack up now, and this could get messy if he's not careful. So he either needs to pull to the side of the track or get that car back to the pits. Newgarden has posted a new fast lap of the race in the Leighton House. Newgarden, who's won already this season at Indianapolis, and it looks like Regonathan is able to get his car back to the pit lane. Not the best of starts to the race for team manager Will Knight of the BAR team. 0.8 of a second is the gap between Rosenqvist and Dixon. I wonder how long it will be before Dixon decides to make his move. There is Dixon in P2. Behind Rosenqvist for the race lead. It's Mini, Newgarden, Latifi, Boemi, Roland. And we just saw a move from one of the Fon Matels. I think that was Marcus Ericsson on the inside of what looked like Shulgunon into Ouge. Or Douge, I should say. See De Costa on a charge here, making his way through on Pietro Fittipaldi. And Nazar locking up into turn 1, which allows the Mascalolo of Roman Grosjean through. Looks like it's to keep the car going in the right direction there. Gabriel Mini. I'll see Shane van Gisbergen. Behind the manor is his teammate Mitch Evans, who had a very strong performance last time out at Monthewitt Park. Both well and truly outside the point at the moment, so it's going to take some doing for them to repeat that here. Scott McLaughlin, podium finisher in the last 2 races. He's just lost the position though. The last point to Rafael Marciello on the inside, and the Force India is through into 10th position. Drops back. We're on lap 6 of the race. It's Rosenqvist leading, Dixon in second place. 2 Minardis in the top 3. Haven't said too much of that this season. Shogun on behind Marcus Ericsson in the battle for 15th place. His teammate Dries van Tor is further behind in 24th. Strong start to the race for Minardi. Newgarden behind Mini in 4th. He's got really fast that point right now. Felix Rosenqvist has got the pole position point, which won't be taken away whatever happens. Looking at the situation in the Drivers' Championship as we look at Antonio Felix da Costa, who's the next to send Pietro Fittipaldi down the order. Felix Rosenqvist came into this round leading the Drivers' Championship by 13 points over Matvey Raghunathan and Sebastian Buemi. The way things are going at the present moment, Sebastian Buemi will be moving into 2nd place with his 6th place finish, and Dixon, by finishing 2nd, will move on to 48 and be just 3 points off Buemi, but with Rosenqvist getting the point for pole position and the race win, which is 25, we'll move on to 82 and we'll have a lead of 31 points over his nearest rivals, and Matvey Raghunathan now has the point for the fastest lap on his fresher set of tyres. He's not had a fastest lap in Grand Prix World Series history, has Matvey, but with the way he's going about his business today, that could well set to change. Perez came into this round leading the team's championship. And of course, to keep hold of that, with Rosenqvist taking the win on pole position, Roland in 7th. Moving him on to 116 points. Leightonhouse remaining in 2nd, ahead of Prost. And BAR with Latifi in 5th place, they'll keep hold of 4th place. And it's a dogfight between Simtek and HRT, although with Minardi getting a good hold of points with the way things are going, Dixon 2nd and Mini in 3rd, Minardi will move on to 69 points, which will see them move in front of BAR, Simtek and HRT. Shogun going for it on the Formatel. He was able to stay on the circuit, and that was very nearly Shogun taking Ericsson out of it. None of the teams at the bottom half of the team's championship are in the points right now. Mana don't have any cars in the points, neither do Pacific or Onyx or Formatel or Mastercard Lola. This is the 8th lap of the race, just the one retirement so far. Ollie Berman out with engine trouble in his Simtek. There's Vern on the tail of Earl Bamber for 8th place. And behind Vern is Rafael Marcello, who occupies the last point. Shogun on, locking up and running wide at the last turn. And he was was able to rejoin without taking out anyone. Now, Ericsson had already got through on Fittipaldi ahead. Gunon just locked up into the last corner of Pescarolo. He was able to keep the car pointing the right way. And there we see the team Manners, I think, are about to swap places here. Evans through on Van Gisbergen. See Ollie Rowland behind Sebastian Buemi, who is challenging Nicholas Latifi for 5th position, as is Vern with Bamber for 8th. See a potential overtake happen in a moment as Newgarden goes through on Mini on the inside at Douche, and he is through into the last podium position in the Leighton House. Joseph Newgarden through into 3rd place behind Scott Dixon now. Newgarden having a strong race so far. Next man ahead of him is Scott Dixon, his IndyCar rival. And we look back to Brendan Hartley, who's once again been off the pace. He's got Dries Van Tor, who's making his debut in place of the suspended Liam Lawson. Still no change at the front though. Rosenqvist and Dixon. These won't be too far away from making pit stops. We don't know for certain who is doing the 1 and who's doing the 2 yet. You can see Mick Schumacher, who's behind his teammate Romain Grosjean in 21st place. See Mitch Evans closing in on Shulgunon for 16th. Vensor and Hartley are tussling for position further back. Looks like Rosenqvist is continuing on ahead of Dixon and Newgarden. We see Latifi ahead of Buemi. It's Rowland in P7. And Scott Dixon in his best race for a while. Disappointments at Indianapolis, Solder and Moncure Park, who retired quite early on in those races. And we've seen Vern on the outside of Earl Bamber, but he's not able to get close enough to make the move stick. Are we going to see Vern making a move yet? see a battle going on third between Bamber and Vern, still going at it. Bamber's going to hold on for the time being. Well, he's bounced over the curve there. That might give Vern a little bit more of an opportunity. I wonder if Bamber may be on the one stop compared to the leaders. Oh, and that's DaCosta, who's had a massive crash at turn number 3. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie me. Got it all horribly wrong into turn 2. And the way he's bounced to the gravel there, has seen his car ripped to shreds. And that's the end of the race for Antonio Felix da Costa, who's had a disappointing season so far. And so he's out of the race, but at least he's not come together with anyone else. He's the second driver to retire, along with Ollie Behrman. This is lap 12 here in the League 1 Dijon-Bourgogne Grand Prix. Struggling here, trying to get that car turned into Dijon. Close is firm behind it. Can't be that far behind now. Looks like Newgarden is still holding on ahead of Mini. Fern on the inside of Bamber. Newgarden in P3. Further back we're looking at Mitch Evans, who's wrecked his front wing by bouncing over the curbs and running wide, and that'll be an early pit stop for him. A disappointing season so far for Manor. And Mitch Evans' ride over the curb has not helped that. Fomitel, oh, and the Fomitel going through one way and the Marscollella going through the other. There's Mick Schumacher going for it on Felipe Nasr into Petit Ouge. So Mitch Evans continuing to lose time here, almost holding up the HRT of Alexander Sims. And we've got a pit stop at Leighton House as Newgarden is made his way in his attempt to complete an undercut on Scott Dixon. Mitch Evans has made his way back into the pits now. Kobayashi also in for Simtek. And Mick Schumacher also heading in. Now, has Mitch Evans got into the pits yet? Because I'm not so sure that he has done. He has now. Looks like it took him longer than expected for him to do that. So Latifi is in 4th place. Newgarden coming into the pits. Nasser, on the inside of Romain Grosjean. This is at the Petit Ouge section. And Dries Van Tor is going to be pulling out of his first Grand Prix World Series race in the Onyx. And it's a disappointing end to it. He was hoping to go a lot further, but it won't be today. And we've got the two leaders of Rosenqvist and Dixon in, which allows Gabriele Mini in only his second Grand Prix World Series race to lead. Sebastian Buemi. He's also in the Pros. Maffeo Marcello likewise. Now Newgarden won't get in front of either Dixon or... Just looking further back, this is Vern and Bamber fighting what is 4th place on track now. I can say that Newgarden is still behind Dixon. Now what about Rosenqvist? Rosenqvist is still in front of Dixon. And Newgarden will be on the tail of Felipe Nasr in a moment. There's Nicholas Latifi in 2nd place. I want to go back to the battle between Bamber and Vern because that's continuing to rage on. They've been at it since the start, these two. It looks like Vern is going to get through this time on Bamber. And the Prost driver is through, but Bamber is out! He's caught the curb, the wheels come off. And so it's going to be the 3rd race in a row where Bamber is not going to be finishing. Now, I don't think it was Vern's fault because Bamber did leave Vern enough space and I don't think Vern could have done more than what he did. But Bamber's race is over. Gabriele Mini comes into the pits, as does Oliver Rowland. And what will the steward's decision be? I think it'll be no further action on that one. Vern has come into the pits now. As does Felipe Nasr. And Mick Schumacher's trying to get through on what looks like Pietro Fittipaldi, who is struggling here. After a really good qualifying, and Fittipaldi is not having the best time of it, and you can just see Sebastian Buemi behind Brendan Hartley now, who's staying out for a little bit longer. Although Buemi is getting through on the inside into turn number 4, but can't make the move stick. And we see Mick Schumacher through on the manor there of Felipe Nasr. It's just been overtaken by Shane van Gisbergen. So your new race leader is Nicholas Latifi in the BAR. Scott McLaughlin in 2nd, Felix Rosenqvist in 3rd, and it's Scott Dixon in 4th place ahead of Joseph Newgarden. Gabriele Mini is in 6th on the road, and we see Mitch Evans getting through on Alexander Sims. It looks like he's carrying an issue, and the HRT looks to be out of the race here, because I'm not so sure he's going to be able to bring that car back to the pits. And the fastest up of the race now has gone to Scott Dixon. It was Rosenqvist for a moment, but Scott Dixon has that now. So not only have we got a battle for position, battle for the fast start point between the pair. Just see a move there from one of the Von Matels. I think it was Felipe Nasr getting through on Shane van Gisbergen again. And now we see Sebastian Buemi on the inside there. Brendan Hartley and he very nearly lost it there, and he's continuing to lose time behind the Pacific. And this is not helping Sebastian Buemi's race at the moment. And Sims was able to get that car back to the pit lane, but it's another race to forget for the Brit. And Grosjean in P7 in the Master Car. It looks like he's going to be doing the one stop. Latifi, McLaughlin, and Hartley are also looking to do that as we speak. Now we've seen an overtake behind Grosjean here. I think Buemi, has he got through on Hartley at last? The answer is no, he hasn't. Back to Nicholas Latifi, who leads by 14 seconds, and Dixon posts another new fastest lap of the race, a 1:47.2. And Shane van Gisbergen is the next to pull out of the race here in the manor. It's a disappointing sign for team manager Sam Hall. Evans pitting in for a new front wing, and van Gisbergen's race hasn't been any better than that. There's a gearbox problem for the Kiwi, and as you can see, Ericsson locking up there. Ericsson did bring the car home in 9th position last time out at Hewitt Park. His teammate Felipe Nelson behind him. Right on board with Mick Schumacher, who's gone in for a strong result here. Just 2 points to his name so far. That came at Indianapolis. Scott McLaughlin, who's finished on the podium in the last 2 rounds, gone in for his 3rd in a row here. Latifi doing a fine job so far, it has to be said. It won't be too long before he comes into the pits. Felix Rosenqvist should go back into the lead. He's going to be stuck behind McLaughlin on his way to doing so, which will only encourage Scott Dixon and Joseph Newgarden. Buemi's got through on Hartley at last, so that you know. McLaughlin still in P2 right now. And he's back in full position after all, so he does not have to move out of the way of Rosenqvist and Dixon. Just see Alexander Sims running too deep. That was into the last corner of Pasquarolo. So yeah, just didn't touch the gravel, but just running a little bit too deep. He's on his way again. I think question marks could be raised on Alexander Sims' future, because he has not really produced a lot in his first 6 races, including today. Let's see if he's stayed out for another lap. He's got over McLaughlin for 16 seconds. I have to say, Latifi could all of a sudden be in play for the race win here today, after qualifying 3rd on the grid. There is Latifi in P1. I've already tasted victory this season at Solder a couple of rounds ago, and now we see Rosenqvist round the outside of Scott McLaughlin into Petit Ouge, and he's managed to complete the overtake. It was important that he completed that, did Felix Rosenqvist. I think Nicholas Latifi will be in the pits at the end of this lap. As I see Evans rip off his front wing for the second time, and at the same corner. What is going on with Manor today? And Mitch Evans. Second time he's been off, and he'll need to come into the pits again for a new front wing. And we see Buemi going through on Roman Grosjean at the right-hander of Douge, and Grosjean does keep it on the track, unlike Albumba did when Jean-Luc Vergne got by him earlier. And we are seeing Scott Dixon going through on Scott McLaughlin, and the move is done. Dixon through into third place now. Nicholas Latifi carrying on his way, and Grosjean's in the pits now for his only stop. Now we're going to be seeing Mitch Evans in the pits for a new front wing in a moment. So far we have lost Albumba, Dries Vanthoor, Antonio Felix da Costa. We also lost Ollie Behrman. And we've also lost Shane van Gisbergen. We're also seeing Rafael Marcello going through on Brendan Hartley, who has yet to stop in this race. And Latifi, unbelievably, is still remaining out there. Don't know how much fuel he's got left in there, but it can't be very much now. And he's happy to remain out there for the time being. And Scott McLaughlin is one of the other drivers on the one side. Oh, and Scott Dixon, very lucky to not damage the car by riding over the curb there. That was very, very close, but he's carrying on his way anyway. I've seen Felix Rosenqvist in second place. McLaughlin is rejoined behind Jules Gounon in 14th. Has a golden opportunity to finish on the podium here. The highest of the home hero drivers is Jean-Luc Vergne in 9th. Jules Gounon in 13th. And Grosjean outside the top 15. Felix Rosenqvist in second place still, and Nicholas Latifi at the end of lap 22 is in for his only stop. So Rosenqvist will go through, as will Dixon, Newgarden, Mini. Rowland should go through, and I think Latifi might get out in front of Sebastian Buemi, you know. We'll wait and see. He does rejoin behind Rowland, but does he get out in front of Buemi? he has done. Latifi rejoins ahead of Buemi as Grosjean goes into mid too deep. Brendan Hartley coming in for his only stop. Scott Dixon in second place now, behind race leader Felix Rosenqvist, who's gone in for 2 wins in a row. He'll be the first repeat winner this season across the 2 leagues in season 4. Scott Dixon already has a victory at Buenos Aires, Newgarden likewise at Indianapolis. Gabriele Mini hasn't won a Grand Prix World Series race, and he's only in his second outing. Oliver Rowland is 5th. He's never won a Grand Prix World Series race himself. Neither has Nicholas Latifi. Sebastian Buemi has won in the past for BAR, Leighton House and Prost. He's won 4 times. Rafael Marcello won the lead to Laguna Seca Grand Prix last season. Sean Verne has won 4 times, all of which coming with BAR in season 1. He did win on the road in Zolder, but dropped back because of his collision with Fizz Rosenqvist at the start. Mia Kobayashi, who last took victory at the Taupo Grand Prix in season 2 for Arrows. You see Ericsson a little bit too deep at the moment, so let's continue. So he's on his way. Sean Gounon and Scott McLaughlin isn't too far behind. Latifi, after his only stop, is in 6th place ahead of Sebastian Buemi. Felipe Nasr locking up in the Fonmetal. He's behind Mick Schumacher. Here's the Brazilian. And the pace we have seen from Nicholas Latifi has helped him get to where he is now in 6th position, but once the top 5 all pit in for the second time, he'll be back into the lead and have a comfortable margin. Now, is he going to try and go for a fastest up or something? Nicholas Latifi. We'll find out in a moment. He probably won't. He's still got the gap to Sebastian Buemi. He'll close in on Oliver Rowland sooner rather than later. There's your top 4 in the picture. Rosenqvist in the Arrows, Dixon in the Minardi, Newgarden in the Leighton House, Mini in the Minardi. And the third boat, you've got Oliver Rowland in the second Arrows in 5th place. Rosenqvist will extend his lead at the top of the Drivers' Championship with the way things are going. But that could change when Latifi goes into the lead after Rosenqvist has done his second stop. And now we are seeing Dixon heading for the pits in his attempt to undercut Rosenqvist. Probably rejoin ahead of Sean Gounon will Scott Dixon. Sebastian Buemi is also in the pits. Phil Marcello likewise. What about Marcus Ericsson? Is he going to go through here? I think he's also in the pits. Here's the Swede. And Dixon has got out in front of Shulgunon and behind Kamui Kobayashi. Now this is important for Dixon's race and for his championship season. And Latifi is on fire in the BAR. His first victory in the Grand Prix World Series is not going to happen today. Awful luck for team manager Will Knight. And now it's going to be between those on the two stops. Battling it out for victory here. Nicolas Latifi retires from the League One Dijon-Bourgogne Grand Prix. And bad news for BAR as Raghunathan has also gone off, and I think the wheels come off on his car. Riding the curve there, and he's got it all horribly wrong. He's off the track. He's unbelievably able to get the car going again. But what an absolute disaster for the BAR team. We've got pit stops happening now at the front of the field. Mini is in, and so is Newgarden and Rosenqvist. Oliver Irland takes the lead for now. But where is Dixon? Has he got in front of Newgarden or Rosenqvist? I don't think he has. I think Newgarden's got in front of him, although Dixon has just snatched effectively second place from his old IndyCar adversary. Now we see Verne in second place on track, but the positions in the fight for the win is as ye were. Mini's behind McLaughlin, who can go to the end, so Mini's got some work to do. And Evans continuing to have his own melodies. Fittipaldi in the pits for Pacific. And Verne in second place behind Rowland. Raghunathan comes in to get a new front wing fitted on. And that's pretty much the end of the day's work for the BAR team. We'll just be hoping for the upgrade window to open now after this race. There is Jean-Luc Verne in P2 as Rowland goes into the pits. I think Verne's going to be doing the same. And also in the pits, we're just looking back, it's Kamui Kobayashi. So it's Rosenqvist, Dixon, Newgarden, McLaughlin and Mini in the top 5. Although Rosenqvist is slowing down in the arrows. On lap 28, his race is over. A puncture is the cause, and the arrows pilot is not going to be finishing. The race winner at Marquette Park is out in Dijon-Bourgogne, and Scott Dixon takes the lead of the race. Dixon has a golden chance now to get his championship back on track. "12 laps to go. Will we see any more twists in this race?" Scott McLaughlin is up to 3rd position in the HRT. Oh, and Gabriel Mini's on fire now. The smoke is coming out of the back of his Minardi. 2 races without points it's going to be for the Italian. And it's such a shame because he ran so well, especially that start he had. But he's the next to go. It's all over for Gabriel here. When it was looking good for Minardi, they're now down to 1 car, and they've got to hope that that does not happen to Scott Dixon. We saw what happened last season on this track, where he was leading and then had to come into the pits with an electrical problem, and that handed victory to Patrick O'Ward. Newgarden in second behind Dixon. Rowan is fourth, although he's gone for a spin as the Brit! Is he out of the race? He surely must have damaged the car. Looking at a replay, and it's at the Petit Ouge corner. And I don't know what on earth he's done there, but surely he's damaged the car. And that hands 4th position to Sebastian Buemi. Marcello goes through, Verne goes through. Grosjean, Hartley, Ericsson and Kobayashi will go through. And Roland will be out of the points. Gounon goes through. Roland gets back on the track now in 12th place. No damage done, remarkably. But what a rotten couple of laps for team boss Topher Smith. We've seen Dixon, we've seen Newgarden in 1st and 2nd places. And it's not just going to affect things at the top of the standings now, with arrows not looking like they're going to score here. In the Drivers' Championship, if Scott Dixon was to win this race, keep hold of the fast lap points, he'll be tied on points with Rosenqvist, but with 2 wins, Dixon will be leading the championship. And it's Rosenqvist in 2nd on 56, Sebastian Buemi in 3rd place on 55, and Scott McLaughlin, who's on course for a podium here, will be in 4th on 53. And with Newgarden, by finishing 2nd, he'll go up to 5th on 51. That is how close things are going to be once this race is over with the positions as they are. And one driver's benefiting from all this is Rafael Marciello in the Force India. He'll go up into the top 10 in the standings. We want to go onto the Teams Championship with everything that's been happening. And Mick Schumacher making a move on Oliver Rowland now. And I think Rowland has carried a problem here. He's not going very fast at all. Yeah, that was an easy overtake. Too easy of an overtake from Mick. I think Oliver Rowland could well be pulling out of this race in a moment. And so Rowland will be heading into the pits with an electrical problem, and that just sums up Arrows' day. After the maximum score they had at Montcuret Park, it's been a day to forget for them here. Looking at the team's championship, Arrows will not be leading that. Oh, is that a problem there? Was that just a lock-up from Dixon or Newgarden? I couldn't quite tell there. I was probably just looking at something different. Leighton House will move in front of Arrows, and with Minardi on course for the win here and the pole position point, fast start point I should say. They'll move on to 62 points. They'll move in front of HRT, I believe. No, they'll just be behind them. They'll be in front of Simtech though, and BAR. And for Prost, with the way things are going for them, with Boemi in 4th and Fern in 6th, they'll be in front of Leighton House and Arrows, so they will be into the lead of the team's championship by 2 points. So Leighton House will be on 85, and Arrows, believe it or not, will be on 85 as well, because Rosenqvist got the point for pole position. And Oliver Rowland has rejoined in 16th place now, behind Pietro Fittipaldi. And you never know, you might try and go for the fastest lap. He needs to do that. That'll cement Harris's place in 2nd in the team's championship. So he's got the chance of going for a fastest lap. Newgarden, 9/10 behind Dixon. Coming around to complete their 32nd lap. They've got 7 more laps to do around this Dijon-Bourgogne course. At the bottom of the team's championship, Mars-Carlotta are on course to get 6 points with Grosjean in 7th. And that will move them off the bottom. And they'll be in front of Fonmetal. Although Ericsson is on course to get a point for them. They'll be at the bottom with 12 points. Marcelo will be on 15, tied with Onyx. But Onyx will be ahead on countback. And with Brendan Hartley in 8th place for Pacific, they'll move further away from them and they'll go on to 21. Manor are not going to be scoring, so they'll remain on 26 points. And Force India will be bridging further away from the relegation battle, with Marcello in 5th. We'll go on to 45. We'll see Rafael Marcello in 5th position. Still time for things to change here. Here's Dixon and Newgarden. We're now looking at the battle for 15th place between Pietro Fittipaldi and Oliver Rowland. And Oliver Rowland will just want to salvage some form of consolation here. Here's Dixon and Newgarden still going at it. Oliver only going round the outside here of Pietro Fittipaldi into Petit Ouge, and the move is complete. And that's him through into 15th. Although he runs wide on the curb and Fittipaldi is able to get back through. Now, did Fittipaldi force Rowland wide here? In my opinion, I don't think he did. I think he left him enough space. Rowland will have to go at it again. And we're watching Newgarden here, determined to achieve his 2nd Grand Prix World Series win. With 6 laps remaining, Dixon holds the lead, but for how long? Right on board with Scott McLaughlin. It does not appear to be going that quick through Petit Rouge, but that's just me thinking a lot. We saw Oliver only going through on Pietro Fittipaldi into turn 1. And we've just seen a change for position for 8th place between Kamui Kobayashi and Brendan Hartley. And Scott McLaughlin's on fire. I was right to believe he was going slowly through Petit Rouge. And so the HRT is going to be out of the race. And I don't think he'll be able to get that car back to the pits either. No, he's past the pit entry now. Scott McLaughlin is going to be out of the race in the HRT. What a huge shame after running a splendid one. And so it's going to a slowdown. And the podium is gone for him and for HRT. And I think Brendan Hartley has been overtaken by Marcus Ericsson as well, so we'll want to go to him, because he's had a very poor lap. And McLaughlin pulls off and his race is over. That allows Grosjean into 6th place, Kobayashi 7th, Ericsson 8th now for Fomatel, Hartley 9th in the Pacific, and Jules Gounon in 10th in the Onyx. So, looking at the way things are panning out in the Drivers' Championship, Sebastian Buemi will go into the lead. As Rafael Melchilla locks up, he's now into 4th place, is the Italian. He's just ahead of Jean-Luc Verne. And Prost will extend their lead in the Teams' Championship by leapfrogging Leighton House and Arrows. At the bottom, where it's getting very interesting, Grosjean's points will move Mastercard Lola off the bottom. They'll be on 17 points. Fomatel Roncos get 4, they'll be on 15. And Onyx will be picking up a point, they'll go on to 16. And Pacific on getting 2 will be on 19. So it's very close now at the bottom of the Teams' Championship between those teams. And I'd imagine Manor will be looking over their shoulders. Marcello just bouncing over the curves a little bit on the exit of turn 1, but no harm done. Prost will be very happy with this result, with Buemi 3rd and Verne in 5th. And Newgarden's taking the lead from Dixon. We need to go to the race lead because Newgarden is ahead of the Minardi, and would you believe it? The Minardi's engine has gone on fire, and Scott Dixon is going to retire for the 5th time in 6 races. His reign as the Grand Prix World Series champion is slipping further through his grasp here. And it's game over for him now, with over 3 laps to go. It's great luck for Newgarden, but Dixon will be holding his head in his hands and hammering the steering wheel in an abundance of frustration. And up to 2nd place goes Sebastian Buemi in the Prost, and Rafael Marciello up to 3rd in the Force India. What a day he has had so far. But it's not over yet. And Romain Grosjean in the Mastercard Lola up to 5th, Kobayashi 6th, Ericsson now 7th in the Fomatel, Brendan Hartley 8th, Jules Gounon 9th, and Mick Schumacher, the lead to Dijon-Bourgogne Grand Prix winner last season, is in 10th. There is Joseph Newgarden as we watch Jules Gounon going for a move here on Brendan Hartley. This is important in the battle for the for survival. See Buemi there. We'll be very happy to take a 2nd place finish here. We go back into the lead of the Drivers' Championship with Rosenqvist not scoring, apart from the pole position point he got earlier. Now in the Teams' Championship at the bottom, Mastercard Lola are on course to get 11 championship points with both cars now inside the top 10. They'll go on to 20 points. Von Mattel will go on to 17. Onyx will be on 17 as well. Pacific will move on to 21. So it's Von Mattel who will be rock bottom, albeit on countback. Onyx are second from bottom. And then it'll be Marscard Lola in 11th. And we've got another retirement here. And it's Felipe Nazar in the Von Mattel, who's just outside the points. But he's also not going to be taking the checker flag, but it will still be classified as a finisher. So he is out, and that moves Mitch Evans up to 11th place. And if he can remain where he is, he might just snatch a point after all. And we've got Rafael Marcello in 3rd place ahead of Jean-Luc Verne. So Rowling moves up, as does Fittipaldi, as does Sims. And so will Matt Viragulafin and Racine shall going for it on Brennan Hartley again. He cannot get the move done into turn 1. We saw what happened in the Lead 2 race earlier with Nick Cassidy in the lead by nearly half a minute, pulling out on the last lap with 3 corners to go. Joseph Newgarden with a 16-second lead over Sebastian Buemi will hope that the same luck does not strike him. Not far away from victory. We've got a battle for 14th between Alexander Sims and Matavir Raghunathan, and Raghunathan goes through on Sims into 14th place. It's been an unbelievable race, and it's still not done yet. Joseph Newgarden has started the final lap in the Leighton House on course for his 2nd win of the season. And will be the first repeat winner of Season 4. And this result will put Leighton House, I think, into the lead now of the team's championship with the way things are going, unless Prost have something to say on that. I think it'll still be Prost. But Leighton House will be up to 2nd place, or will remain in 2nd, and Arrows will be down to 3rd position. It's been a terrible day for Minardi and for Arrows though. And that could be costly in the near future. Joseph Newgarden has got just 4 more corners to get through now. And victory will be in sight for him, and for the Leighton House team, and for team boss Chris Cavani. Joseph Newgarden set to fight his way through and rely on others to fail, and he's done just that. And it's going to be a 2nd win of the season for him and for the Leighton House squad. Joseph Newgarden comes onto the pit straight to win the League 1 Dijon-Bourgogne Grand Prix. It's a day to saviour for him after the level of misfortune he's had in recent rounds. But he's got it right here. Sebastian Buemi is going to take 2nd place in the Prost. And he will be back into the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Rafael Marcello holds off Jean-Luc Verne for 3rd place. What a day for Force India, and a brilliant day for Prost, who take back the lead in the team's championship. Kamui Kobayashi will be 5th for Simtek, holding off Roman Grosjean, Marcus Ericsson, Brendan Hartley, Charles Gounon, and Mick Schumacher will pick up the last points. What a day for those teams who are at the bottom of the team's championship, and it's tightened things up there. Oliver Reynolds just got through on Mitch Evans on the last lap, but he's going to miss out on points. Arrows only picking up the pole position point. Oliver Reynolds will finish outside the points in 11th, ahead of Mitch Evans, who's had a day to forget, as have Pietro Fittipaldi, Matavir Raghunathan, and Alexander Sims. So Fittipaldi crossing the line in 13, but at least he's got a finish under his belt, meaning more prize money for team manager Kevin McMullen. I'm sure we'll want to spend that wisely as well. Sims crosses over the line. It's victory for Joseph Newgarden for the second time this season, and his first at Dijon-Bourgogne. Sebastian Buemi, second, ahead of Rafael Marcello. Jean-Luc Verne, fourth, ahead of Kamui Kobayashi. Then looking at those in the teams at the bottom end of the team's championship, Roman Grosjean, sixth. Marcus Ericsson, seventh. Brendan Hartley, eighth. Charles Ghosn on ninth. And Mick Schumacher in 10th. Three French drivers in the top 10 on home turf. Oliver Rowland in P11 after what should have been second place or something like that for him. Mitch Evans 12th ahead of Pietro Fittipaldi, Matt Jonathan and Alexander Sims. Felipe Nasser and Scott Dixon are classified as finishers even though they didn't take the checkered flag. Scott McLaughlin retired with engine problems whilst running in the top 3. Gabriel Imini also out along with Felix Rosenqvist whilst he was leading before he had a puncture. Nicholas Latifi, Shane van Gisbergen, Earl Bamber, Dries Van Toort, Antonio Felix da Costa and Ollie Behrman were the rest to not finish. Felix Rosenqvist got the point for pole position and Scott Dixon got the point for the fastest lap, but both of which will have wished that they had come away with the race victory today. In regards to the Drivers' Championship, by finishing in second place, Sebastian Buemi moves on to 61 points. Joseph Newgarden, by winning, moves on to 58. They are now first and second in the Drivers' Championship, and things are very much hotting up. It's been a disappointing day for Minardi and for Arrows when they could have been walking away with a good haul of points to help with their championship chances, but that didn't quite happen. But for those at the bottom end of the team's championship, it's very much lightened things up, hasn't it? With so many points coming their way. And I'll let Topher Smith run down on everything that's happening in the League One Championship standings. And that's it for me today. And so we'll be back for the next round in Mugello.
Well, drama all the way to the end once again here in Dijon-Bourgogne. And it is a fantastic victory today for Joseph Newgarden. Had to capitalise on a little bit of luck coming his way, but sometimes that is what you need in motor racing. And in the 12th race of this season, we finally have our first repeat winner. Joseph Newgarden won the Indianapolis Grand Prix in League One, and now today he wins the League One at Dijon-Bourgogne Grand Prix. It's absolutely amazing how it's taken this long to have our first repeat winner of the season, but it shows the competitive nature of this championship. And we wait to see who our next repeat winner will be, or indeed who our next new winner will be when we head into later rounds of this championship. But first of all, let's take a look at what that has done to the driver's standings. And Sebastian Buemi's podium has put him back into the lead of the Drivers' Championship. He is on 61 points, 3 ahead of Joseph Newgarden, whose victory today puts him up into second. Felix Rosenqvist doesn't pick up any meaningful points today apart from the pole position points, and he is on 57, 1 point behind Newgarden in third. Mahavir Raghunathan, fourth on 43, ahead of Scott McLaughlin on 38. Raffaele Marcello, a good podium for him today, his second of the season, puts him on to 36 points, equal with Jean-Eric Verne in the second Prost. Earl Bamber is 8th on 34 points, equal with Kamui Kobayashi. And Scott Dixon, it could have been his second victory of the season, but not to be for the reigning champion, and he is languishing down in 10th in the standings on 31 points. Not completely out of it just yet, but facing more of an uphill struggle than he would have liked. Heading to the team standings, and it is Prost who is back into the lead on 97 points. Leighton House is on 92 after their second victory of the season, and Arrows has gone from the championship lead down to third on 85 points. Syntec fourth on 59, BAR on 51 ahead of Force India on 50, HRT on 48, Minardi on 37. They really should have a lot more points than that at this stage of the season, but reliability playing its part in their championship so far. Manor 9th on 26 ahead of Pacific on 21, and then still in danger of relegation, Mastercard Lola on 18, Onyx Grand Prix on 17, and Fonmetal also on 17. All three of those teams picked up some points today, but still falling behind the likes of Manor and Pacific Grand Prix as it stands. We do have an upgrade window coming up though. How will that shake up the pecking order as we go to the next race at Mugello in Italy? We can't wait to find out. Will we get some new contenders? Will we see some teams fall down the order? We hope you tune in next time, but until then, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Topher Smith. Take care.